Thank you, Susan. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? Surviving, yes, thank you. Well, now we take you to the best presentation of all, Dominique, and which is, of course, mLearning, mobile learning, our favorite. Now, we have a symposium for about 40 minutes, and we have a number of presenters. We have Varunesh, the guy in the beard, and we have Rona, we have Ranil, and we have Shalvin. These are our, Varunesh is our Moodle guy, and the rest are our RAs who are working to produce these services and applications for mobile. Now, before we go any further, please, you can take advantage of this particular service. If you take this quiz, you will be in a draw to win some mobiles. We have these mobiles here, which we will draw in the afternoon. So you can take advantage of that particular service. Can you go back to that, please? Here you go. Well, you have to submit the right answers to get this, to be in the draw for the prize. But the service is free, of course. I mean, this is the service which we offer to our students. Our students benefit from these sort of mobile learning services. Right, moving on. For this particular symposium, we have a number of things which we'll look into. We will look at why mobile learning, what is mobile learning, why we're saying it's the next best thing for higher education, why consider mobile learning for the South Pacific region, what sort of constraints we have, what sort of unique features we have, and why we need to develop these unique applications and apps using mobile learning. Does it contribute to learning? I know there was a question raised or comment made right in the beginning today by one of the professors saying that sending a text is not learning, which is true. Sending a text is not learning. But then, if you do send a text to a student, if you notify a student to come to a place to learn, or to channel them to, or to notify them to go to Moodle, or to meet the deadlines, of course, that is learning.
Okay, thank you. I'll just start off with some overviews of what our presentation would be on. I'll start off with basically why we're going mLearning, and also on why we should consider mLearning. Okay, and then our RAs will continue with our projects inside that we're conducting for USP. Thank you. Okay, so why mobiles? I mean, the technology has been here for a while, right? I mean, really, why do we need to go mobile? So just in a nutshell, this starts basically from, we got this out from UNESCO. Well, the device is basically, it's very small now, it's very powerful, and there's so much benefits that you can use it for, right? So, I mean, again, the question was that the technology has been here for a while, so why suddenly are we saying go mobile, right? That's because of this explosive growth in terms of the mobile subscriptions. Okay, this chart, presents the mobile subscriptions globally. That's saying that almost every individual, the number of mobile subscriptions is equal to the world population. Right? That does not mean, of course, that every individual has a mobile, but I mean, that's the stats there, right? So, I mean, many are thinking like, this is like the world stats, right? But does it really compare down to our Oceania level, sorry? Okay, so this is all from, the International Telecommunication Union data. Okay, so this stats basically also represents what we were showing globally. Fiji's population is around 850,000 something, right? And that's almost the same number of mobile subscriptions that we have. And that's basically reflective of the global stats, right? You're looking also the other regional islands there, Solomon's is there. Kiribati shows it cut off in 2007. Maybe the towers washed away or something. So, but yeah, I mean, the stats are there, right? I mean, there are more devices and it's being basically distributed a lot more. So, but then what are these people doing with these devices? Right, that's the question. I mean, how are they using it? Because this just basically shows the number of people accessing the internet using mobiles and via desktop. Okay, so the top line is the desktop one, and the green one at the bottom shows mobiles, right? So probably can, I'm not sure if you can see, the top one shows a drop by 6%, right? This is for a 1 year period, September 2012 to September 2013. Right, there's a drop of about 6%, and coincidentally, there's a rise of about 6% of people using mobiles to access the internet. Right, I mean, that's quite interesting. So really, this is again a stats from the mobile workforce. It's talking about by 2015, 80% of people will be using internet through their mobiles. Okay, and really why? I mean, of course, the social media has helped that, social networking sites, Facebook and everyone. People are trying to access it every day. But why again? Right, I mean, the instant access to knowledge, this comes in part of learning, right? For example, I think almost everyone watches sitcoms here, I think, right? I do. And you're watching a movie and someone says, okay, if you're in Fiji, sitcoms are US based. Someone says someone has gone 10 miles. How much is that in a kilometer? I mean, that's the kind of information I really don't need to apply on a daily basis, right? But what if I have something in my mobile app that basically just will allow me to convert that metric and just give me what's from miles to kilometers, right? This is application of, getting access to knowledge instantly when you need it, right? Not having to apply it every day. Okay, informal learning, again, this part of informal learning basically means something that's not formal environment. Formal environment, talking about an organized educational structure, you have lectures, assessments, and other things, right? Informal learning is basically out of that. Right, so one example would be if you want to learn something about history, right? You could go to a library or do some research, or you could go to YouTube, watch a video on Abraham Lincoln, and you've learned history, right? I mean, directed learning. And of course, the main presence about mobiles is it's anywhere and it's anytime. Okay. I think many of you may have heard about a NASA satellite, I think called, was it Navigator or Explorer? I think Explorer, that left our galaxy a few months back. And that satellite was working on technology developed decades ago. And our current mobiles have processing at least 10, 20 times faster than that. Right? I mean, just look at it. Initially, the question was why suddenly we're going into mobiles, right? I mean, at those times when the technology was there, basically, there's limited capacity, the features and everything, right? No functionality of small screen, no internet compatibility. Then suddenly the 2G phones come in, multimedia communications, some internet capability, right? It works around. But now, if you see it, it's like, basically, it's almost like a desktop, right? I mean, a laptop in your hand. You can do basically anything you want with it. So that's very interesting. Just going on from here. So talking about some key principles of mobile learning in the region. This is some of the words that really pick up: interactiveness, flexibility, the digital divide. This is one word that we actually learned today, and I think Dr. Sharma may explain more on this. Rhizomatic learning. I think Dave is the main person on that. So yeah, maybe you'll talk about it later. So those things basically that stand out with mobile learning, SMS. This is basically targeting our region here. I mean, the things that we are doing. Okay, so why has mobile adaptation been so slow? And these aren't the answers. These are more of questions itself. So is it too confusing? I mean, is there a digital divide? Yes, of course. I'll show later in the next slide about stats about how many people actually understand and know about mobile learning. Right? Too costly to implement? Not really. I mean, the technology is there. We're not introducing a new technology. Right? Mobiles are there. A lot of it. It's good. I think the main thing is just asking our course designers. I mean, if we are to incorporate this into learning in some form of our course, just asking our course designers to really work on getting the time out and being able to work on this. Course coordinator, sorry. Security issues, of course, there's always there. I mean, anything electronic is almost basically hacked, right? I mean, but the thing, I mean, with our processes in the region, with our committee, it's like you follow certain software development cycles, engineering methods, right? So basically try to limit those potentials for hackers to come in or disrupt your systems, right? So mLearning at USP, again, so we just posted a question to basically students and staff we ran a survey through Moodle. And the question was, have you heard about mLearning at USP? Right? So 21% basically said no. Right? So we did dig a lot deeper, and this 21% are mostly from the region. Right? People who really probably wouldn't be coming on campus most of the time to hear about these things. Okay, so that's one of the responses. A second question, which basically also set our direction for the projects that we started to develop, was what kind of phone do you have? Right, so you'll see like smartphones are coming about, 35% up of about 1,200 responses that we had. But still 2G phones, which has limited internet capability, is at about 58%. That's still the clear majority. So basically this set our direction for all our projects that we moved forward with. And these projects were all SMS based. Right, so start with the SMS services that we are offering through mLearning at USP. SMS notifications, this is through Moodle. Right? Our developer basically created this module on Moodle, which allows any course coordinator to go into their course shell and be able to send out important notifications, announcements to students, like assignment is due, test is coming up, all those things. So some steps from there. For just around 4 months, starting from June, we had about 70,000 SMSs being sent out. That's one of the most popular services. Okay, SMS mark sheet. This is also again based on Moodle. The Moodle mark sheet. So in every course, students can actually SMS in and query their marks, the continuous assessment, Right, so this again, just for a few months, we had about 2,000 responses. So it's cool. Library SMS. This is something that we just released a few days ago. How this works is basically, the library came to us to say that they wanted to notify their users if they've forgotten a book or they reserved a collection and they want them to be notified. So they do send out emails, of course. So what we're doing is tapping into those emails and sending out SMSs. Right? So this is working. I mean, just today I pulled this out, so there's about 24 messages that went out. And we haven't gone back to library to see if this is actually helping with their return policy and all those things. But yeah, I mean, this is basically in trial, so we'll go there. Exam timetable, this was more of a more common application, more popular, This was for the final exams. Students always kept, this is the news we got from SAS, from Team, that students kept forgetting which day they have to sit their exam. They would either come in the afternoon or come the next day, all those things, right? So this service basically allows students to SMS in and just SMS in exam and their ID number, as shown by the diagram. And they would get back the entire timetable for the courses they are registered for. Right? So that really helped them. Within the 2 weeks the exams are held, we had about 8,000 responses. This is one way of responses. I'm talking about, students send in and we respond with the SMS. So that's total about 15,000. And of course, this is all free to the students and staff. Okay, so just before I round off, if anyone would like to try this demo, again, I think this is related to some prize. If you just SMS in exam space S1, S2, or S3 to 6013, and you'll see exactly the kind of responses you'll get in your mobile phone. Okay, so I'll hand this over, I think, now to Shelvin. Shelvin? Yeah, who'll talk about classroom-based assessment. You can still keep trying with that quiz, and we'll draw some prizes later on. Sure.
Hello, everyone. So I'll be talking about the SMS-based classroom assessment. This is essentially a mobile-based quiz application, right? That makes use of the SMS capability on your phone in order to help you answer questions quiz questions, right? The application is developed to work in line with the smart classrooms, which the university is working on implementing at the moment throughout the different faculties. This can be used for many different things, right? As you can see, it can be used for formal assessments, right? Right now, we have quizzes which are available on the learning management system. We have quizzes which are on paper-based quizzes, right? And now there's another platform, right? The SMS-based quiz. So you can. Course coordinators have a wide range of options, or platforms in which they can assess their students, right? It can be used for surveys as well, right? Say, for example, the student council wants to know if the students are happy with the facilities on campus, so they can just use this to conduct a quick survey, right? It can be used for quick classroom quiz as well, right? So, say, for example, the lecturer conducts the class, and at the end of the class he has a question which these students can answer, and that will allow the lecturer to gain feedback as to whether the students are focusing in class or not, whether they were able to understand the concepts or not, right? This SMS quiz is accompanied by a web-based system that we have where the course coordinators can go and they can see the breakdown of the answers that were given by the students. It's a breakdown by number and also by percentage-wise, so you can see which areas your students may be lacking in, and then you can always divert your attention towards that particular concept so that your students can improve in that. The quiz works similarly, as you can see in the screenshots, right? There's a particular syntax which you have to follow, and using that you can take part in the quiz, right? Again, please continue participating in the quiz that we showed at the beginning. We're piloting it throughout this semester, right? We first introduced this at the open day, right, where the questions were based on facts and figures about facts about the university, right? And the open day visitors, right, participate in this, and we got a very positive response from them. This was, again, a couple of weeks ago, it was introduced in EC 100 and EE 102, right? And you can see the response, right? So the number of participants and the total number of attempts. So you can see that majority of the students participated more than once, right? One of the things that we noticed while conducting the quiz was that students, whenever they complete the quiz, they get a score summary. They're always very keen to better that score, right? So it sort of goes in with the edutainment bit where they're having fun and they're learning at the same time, where they're trying to improve their score, right? Again, we also got positive feedback from the course coordinators as well, who were willing to try out this within their course, right? And again, we hope that other course coordinators come forward and they try out this application as well in their courses. Moving on. Again, please continue participating in this one, right? Just before we move forward, I'll just give you a demo of the web-based system that we have where the course coordinators can go and analyze their results. These results are again instant, so as the students keep answering, you'll be able to see how they're answering the quiz, right? So you can see this was one of the questions in our quiz. If you have taken part, you would know. And you can see the breakdown of the answers, right? This was a basic true or false question, and then you can see below there's a number breakdown and a percentage breakdown. So this is something that to further help the lecturer, to know which areas the students may be weak in and then improve in that area. I'll now hand it over to Rona, who will talk about the edutainment modules that we have.
Thank you, Shelvin. Edutainment. What is edutainment? Edutainment is basically the mixture of entertainment and having entertainment and educating yourself at the same time. Some simple examples of edutainment: Sesame Street, Love Patrol. For those of you who are not aware of Love Patrol is a TV series that is being broadcasted by the local television, which brings about the awareness of AIDS to the public. It's a drama series which shows how you can encounter this deadly virus AIDS and how you can avoid this virus. So while watching this TV series, at the same time you're learning something out of it. So that is basically what edutainment is. What mLearning has developed something based on this topic, edutainment. We have developed a game where students can play and at the same time learn something out from it. And one of our main aim for developing this game is to help students improve on their literacy skills, which is something that students in the Pacific region are lacking out in. We developed a Go Nuts game. This game basically works like a hangman theory. They're given a chance where they're given the definitions and they're given some hints so they can answer that question. I'll show you a demo straight after this. We've developed 3 modules of this game: English grammar, C++ programming, and get to know module. The table on the right shows on top shows the number of access hits that this project was actually rolled out in the end of May, at the end of May. And you can see this is the number of students that's been accessing this game from then till the 26th of last month. Below is simply the table that shows the student feedback when the same survey that we held, Varnes was explaining previously. We basically asked students, why did you play this game? And as you can see, most of the students that replied to this questionnaire, they answered that this game actually helped them improve their skills. They basically play this game to improve their skills. I'll show you a demo on how this game works. Before I show you the demo, this game is designed for those percentage of students that have smartphones. If you have a smartphone and you can access the internet, please just access the first link. You can play this game using your mobile. And it's designed for any mobile devices, so don't worry, you can access this game using your smartphone. I'll show you an example of this game on the browser. Okay, once students access those links, they'll come to the menu of the game where they can go to an option where they can gear up. Gear up is basically they just study the library that they're given and the questions that they'll be tested on. So they can just go through the whole library, and once they feel that they're ready to play the game, they can play away, or straight away from the menu they can play the game. And we have level-based types of questions, so they can choose their difficulty level and they can play the game straight away. This is how the game basically works. You're given a question and you're given a set of spaces where you can just guess the answer. Anybody can guess this answer for me? Pardon? Modal. Okay. So once you get this answer right, you go on to the next question, and once you get a set of questions right from level 1, and then you can move on to level 2. What happens is when students play this game, once they feel like exiting or they've come to the end of the game, they can store their scores, and there's a leaderboard which actually records the scores for students. So you can see these are the students that's been accessing this game, and they've acquired that much points. This game is basically designed for smart devices and mobile devices. Also, you can access this game from a computer and a laptop, and also tablet devices. And I'd like to hand over to Ranil, who will be talking on tablet project. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ranil Kumar, and I'll be presenting on the tablet learning project. Basically, we have 3 types of tablets. We have iPad, Android tablets, and Windows tablets. So knowing about these tablets, then what is tablet learning? Tablet learning basically refers to the use of tablet computers as a tool that supports learning. The USP accepted this concept, tablet learning, through its tablet learning project. Tablet learning project is basically a pilot project and initiative by the Vice Chancellor and President of USP in the enhancement of teaching and learning in the institution. USP gave out 600 Android tablets to students in semester 1, 2013. The major goal of the project was to make distance and flexible learning easier by providing a repository of course materials to the students. We selected 7 campuses for this project and 12 DFL courses. Well, after distributing the tablets to the students, we carried out continuous survey with them, and we found various benefits of a tablet learning project to the students in the region. The first one was that TLP did make distance and flexible learning easier, as students had a repository of their course materials on the tablets, and they could access it anytime, provided they had the device with them. Also, using the Wi-Fi facilities on the campus, students could access Moodle and the internet for research. In the regional campus, we have a system where the students have to book PCs in order to use it. So by providing these tablet computers, these students did not have to book PCs, and they could use it as personal devices. This is a comment from Solomon Islands, and a student expresses his benefits that he found while using this tablet. Also, by providing the tablets, we reduced the volume of print materials that the students had to carry around with them in the past. Previously, if the student did 3-4 courses, and they had to carry 3 or 4 sets of books, we could comprise all the 3-4 sets of books into one electronic repository and put it onto the tablet. And also, it was very helpful to students who did not possess a computer at home. In the regional campus and also locally, we find that there are some places that do not have power, and also there are power shutdowns. So using this tablet and coming to the campus, students could charge it and read these course materials when they go home. Basically, the battery life for these tablets was 5 to 6 hours. Moving on to some data of our survey, we found that 90% of the students were new to tablets. They had used tablets for the first time, and 10% had used tablets before. Although 90% of the students had used tablets for the first time, we found that students' preference to reading course materials on the tablets was much more than on PCs and printed out materials. On the tablets, they responded as 75%. For 75% of them were happy to use and happy to read the course materials on the tablets. Also, through our third finding, we found that we achieved our goal in terms of making distance and flexible learning easier, as the students responded that they had immediate access to the course materials. They had immediate access to the course materials with the tablets. Also, other usage of the tablets were using Wi-Fi to access OERs, taking notes in class and while studying, and also using multimedia for taking photos and videos for educational purpose. Also, students spend around 3 hours, 20 minutes per day to study using the tablets. Our recommendations. Through our project, this pilot project, we found that tablets are a good learning tool for tertiary students, but there are various elements we have to consider while introducing or expanding such a project. We have to consider our network infrastructure, bandwidth, Wi-Fi infrastructure, project management locally and in the regional campus, and also the logistics of it. In terms of future plans of tablet learning at USP, the project is continuing in semester 2, 2013 this year. And in our next distribution of the tablets, we will be getting tablets with Wi-Fi and cellular capabilities. Students at many places do not have Wi-Fi facilities at home, and Wi-Fi facilities at home. If we provided them with tablets having cellular capabilities, they could just put a SIM card and use the mobile data plans. Also, mLearning is closely working with the USB IT services in order to improve Wi-Fi infrastructure in some campuses, and also the security for mobile devices, as we see that there is currently a lot of mobile devices around. Also, the applications that we develop, native applications like the Android applications at mLearning, we do put it on the tablets for the students to use. One example of the application we made and put onto the tablets was the USB Course Finder. Basically, that is tablet learning at USP so far. And now I will ask Dr. Sharma to continue from here.